And we're live. So welcome back, guys. We had so much fun yesterday, Mario and I. How you doing, Mario?
Yo, what's up, Chad?
What up, what up, what up? So we're here on Sunday, and it is 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard, and a lovely, lovely day. How are we living?
Large, in charge.
I really felt like this intro was gonna just overshadow the last one, but I want to go back and watch, and I'll compare. And just there's a little tear forming right here that I just want to kick off and say, good morning, everybody. It's me and Mario. Mario and I together we stand for what are we doing today exactly?
Well, building off of the previous video, whether users are tuned in or not, I'll fill them in. We worked on some real basic buttons with React. Chad was giving me some lessons because I'm coming from a scripting and Lua and Corona background. And today we want to move forward with Chad actually posted a link for Mr. Abramov, who had some genius stuff on suspense, actually, and that kind of intrigued me. And I wanted to work today on converting my existing Corona little scrolling list table that has images loaded from a URL and some basic text descriptions, titles, and dates. Again, basic JSON, 4 entries. Uh, I want to get that going in React. So let's do it. I want to get the component.
Okay, so awesome, dude, awesome. So we couple things to tell the folks out there that we're getting better at. Let me get the OBS off your screen. Maybe you're not even seeing OBS in the live stream, but we're practicing sharing two screens at once, and you'll see my screen live coding on one side and then Mario on his side, and then we're using GitHub in between. So that's an important collaboration feature that we're getting out of using Zoom along with GitHub. So I just wanted to let everybody else out there know the intricacies there. It's a good learning path. And then I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your project. Um, your current GitHub is not set up for React. It is just a Mario test. We do run a local server in it, but it doesn't yet have all the stuff that comes with like let's do say something like create React app, which will include Webpack and it will give you a little web server that starts up with hot reloading in your browser, and it's all like it does a lot of stuff for you. I think Babel's involved. So before we jump straight over to what Abramov had in his videos, we're going to need to create a React environment. And we can try to do that in the existing GitHub that we have called Test Mario. So what I'm going to do with OBS is I'm going to, let's see, Mario, I do a lot of the screen sharing, but I'm going to give you a chance to see if we can't do that on your side, okay? So
Yeah, let's do it.
let me get GitHub, let me get my OBS up, and I'm going to make your screen the full screen. Whoa. I think that's how that works. Yep. And then I'll get my junk out of the way, my OBS. There we go. And there you go. So, okay, Mario, take it away. What are we doing next? You're in your test Mario directory.
Locally, yeah.
Yeah. And then in order to have a React project environment, I'm going to ask you, look, there's a couple ways to do it, but I'm going to say make a fresh folder somewhere on your computer.
Okay.
And inside of there, we're either going to run create React app or we're going to use Next.js, which is a framework.
Okay.
So,
All right. So let's see. Our existing project is there under Test Mario. Maybe we should create a new folder here and then get it uploaded to Git.
well, yeah, I think the strategy for now is we're going to do a dirty update, which is just work locally. Don't worry about Git. Make a
Okay.
folder, make a folder, yeah, right there.
All right. Should we name it the table view?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what this is called because this is just to create the crux of everything.
Gotcha. All right.
And then inside of here, I'm going to get the documentation, or maybe if you want to do it so people can see it, you go out on
Yeah.
Google and you type in Next.js.
All righty.
And while he's doing that, folks, I just wanted to introduce you to my new paradise where the actual sun is shining onto my wall to make this fake white sun, this beautiful blue sky background, hand painted by myself, made with my own two blue hands. And then over here, I've got a whiteboard where I can write cool things like let's make it happen. So I'll do that while we wait for Mario. Let's make It happened. And I believe that we're learning that Saturday's jokes are a lot better than Sunday's jokes, but we're going to do our darndest for the audience out there. Let's make it happen. It's on the whiteboard. Okay, so now you're on next, and you can see.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
So
So do
that,
we fire up round one, huh?
yeah, that'll get you that. And the manual install is what you're probably going to need
Oh, okay.
next. Well, let's just read what they say. Quick start, npx create next app, and then install it into your project is that way. And I just did this the other day. Um, npm install dash dash save next react dom. Yeah, okay, let's just start from the very top and see what
Okay.
happens if you run that command. And then I believe after like if you do space and then you give it like a folder name, it's probably going to create that folder inside of the table view folder, and in there was where it's
Okay.
going to build the app and everything. So
Oh, okay.
you could just call it, maybe let's call it test dash Mario. This could be where we shoot ourselves in the foot, but let's do it anyways.
All right. What's the worst that can happen, right?
Yeah, and I'm just guessing here. I'm the guy who's gonna say a lot of things that maybe aren't 100% accurate, but I think when we use NPX, it's actually gonna go and get everything we need for the CLI for Next.js or any of the stuff that we would have already needed. Again, this is new to me. This is my second Next.js app. So for the folks out there who are watching, we don't yet have a Patreon account, so just keep your credit cards in your pocket. No, we're not monetizing yet, but we're gonna get there when we get really, really awesome at this. But the Next.js stuff is about server-side rendering, and it incorporates a server and the client side stuff of React. And it also compiles code in such a way that the search engines can actually index your website. Does that make sense? I can say that again, but basically SSR is
Hmm.
server-side rendering, and it's
Right.
like React is client-side. And traditionally, it's not very indexable by the Google bot or by any other search engines. When they come by your website, they see a single page application, and
Hmm.
it may not very well follow all the links properly to maybe a larger website inside of it. So by using SSR, server-side rendering, you get the benefits of a compilation that makes it so when bots come, they can follow all your links and actually get real content and index it.
Ah, okay. I'm
So,
getting
so,
that
so
because if it's
that,
all client side, it just isn't seen at all. No visibility.
yeah, and somewhere between now and where we are in the near future, I am reading stuff because I'm in that white hat SEO is dead with Chase Rayner, who we mention all the time. He he got me into SEO enough again that I think Google is getting smarter as Google does of also indexing JavaScript only websites. So we're kind of in that transitory time, but we're going to do Next.js. It's its own framework. It does a bunch of boilerplate code that's going to turn you into a pro right away. So now that you've done that, what's the next direction that it says to do? To
Round two here says run the install to save the next React DOM.
Yeah, no, it says, does it say move into the project to run that?
No.
I almost feel like you npm install dash dash save next React DOM. See, that's a global install right there where that npx create next app.
Hmm.
I just hope that we have, go ahead and run that command elsewhere, just so we know that I think that wait, before we do that, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, make a new folder and let's see what happens when we run that. Yeah,
All
buddy.
right. Get in there.
Yeah.
All right.
So I guess it's like they call this a manual install. So the npx might have done the very same thing, and you're probably going to end up with some sort of a library here. Like if you have Beyond Compare, which is a comparison tool, you could almost open that up and look at these two directories and see the differences between the two, like right now. It couldn't hurt to do it. I wish I knew better which one was which and which one I had done before. But we're learning. And so what you're going to end up here with is a state-of-the-art server-side rendering framework from Next.js that has its own way of doing certain things. but it's all using React code. And then if we choose material design or bootstrap React or whatever we want to do for the theme, it's going to set right in and like you'll be, dude, you'll be at the A level. Um, no, but that's for real. Okay, so five critical severe so go ahead and run npm audit fix.
Oops. Love this. There we go.
Oh man, our one viewer just dropped because of that mistypo. Let's be careful
Ooh.
next time.
Ooh.
Yeah. Did it, a complete log, did it not do it? npm audit
Looks like it's
fix.
still choked out.
So when you have a no package JSON found, I believe the command is npm init, and it'll create a file there. But before you run that, let's go back to the docs that they have up there on the screen and see what they're talking about. Add a script to your package like this, scripts directory.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but that's assuming you have a package JSON. So
Ah.
the thing you just ran did not give you a package.json. Let's go. Okay, let's go back to your command line and let's see if maybe we needed to be a directory deeper to whatever. So what do we got there? Two
Ooh.
directories. Can you list them?
Yeah, I'm inside there right now.
So there's nothing in there.
No.
Why does it say two dirs?
These two that are always around.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just assume the MPX stuff is what we wanted. Can we look at that inside of Explorer and see what we got? The first one we did
Yeah.
when we ran MPX. So
Yep.
now
Let's do it.
that fly that I got rid of earlier, he came back from the dead. So
Oh,
he's,
he's out for blood, man.
you'll see me. It must be his cousin Tony or somebody. I don't know. But he's back. Somebody's back.
Oh.
Some fly buzzing around my paradise, my fake virtual paradise. So
All
we got
right. So
table
there's
view.
one we
There's test Mario. Okay, look.
and there's back.
Okay, good. So let's just go with this for now.
Okay.
So the thing is like if you study this directory, we have nothing connected to GitHub. We Well, that's good. Like you wouldn't want to accidentally bring the GitHub file, which is usually invisible unless you change your settings in Explorer. It's the thing
Hmm.
that's keeping GitHub up to date. But we want all of this code to come over to our test Mario directory that's connected to GitHub. So select all of this and copy it.
All right.
You got it copied? Okay, then go to your GitHub where we have test-Mario.
Okay.
Now, what if we paste, are we going to override anything? Like probably your yarn.lock. So before you paste, just rename that yarn.lock file to .txt at the end of it so that we sort of have that if we need that for any views. Yep.
Okay.
And then I don't know if there was a README file in the other directory that you just copied from, but you might want to, well, you don't need to open it, but, oh, we're not, hey, we don't want to lose all that.
That's
What
important.
else we got in there? Debug log. The Git attribute stuff, I believe that, and see that Git folder that's kind of invisible? That's the
Yeah.
one we wouldn't want to screw with in this situation.
Okay.
Um, so you can go ahead and just paste, but before you do, make sure
Oh,
that there's okay. No, go for it. But there might
oh,
be
we're
some.
taking the dive.
Yeah, I don't think there's any of the like-minded folders, but if it had an IMG directory and we had ours, then we'd have to be like, oh shit, and make sure we do a merge.
Hmm.
But now what we're doing is we're cheating to where you can go back to your GitHub desktop now, or use command line if you want to do the add and then push, the commit and then the push.
Hmm.
But we're just going to use GitHub Desktop, and it's going to have all these new files in it, and you'll push it up, and then I'll get it down. And when we start this thing up from now on, you're going to do what's called yarn dev. Instead of doing HTTP server, where you were just running the npx HTTP node server,
Right.
running yarn dev is going to actually kick on a local web server, turn on hot reloading. It's going to give you a default file. It's even going to give you a starter React app.
Hmm.
So we'll be way on our way to being, what do we got there? Yarn integrity. Oh, shite. Go ahead and replace it.
Okay. Ta-da.
Okay, good. Um, yeah, let's see what the node modules folder looks like. Dang. See, like, so notice how this package managed applications get. Look how much is brought over just from our boilerplate that installed the starter Next app.
Yep.
So that's like these CLI setups are supposed to save us a bunch of time, but sheesh, look at all that. But now we're looking good. So what I'd recommend you do is maybe you get this thing running. You're not running that other web server anymore, are you? Uh,
No, I canceled that of it.
it's off. You close the command line and it's dead.
Yeah.
All right. So now
Yep.
traverse to our test Mario directory,
Okay.
and then let's do a di or list everything in the directory.
Yeah.
Can you list what's in there?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay,
Let me
thank you.
do
Oh, my bad, I didn't see. I looked away for a second.
busted.
Um, so this is where we're going to be like, we might have to globally install Yarn, but just see what happens if you do, before you do Yarn dash, okay, uh, before you do anything, let me talk this out. So if we do yarn dev, it might try to start up the app, but we might need to do a yarn install type of thing. And you might need to add a scripts to your package.json like it says in the example. But why don't we just open up your Visual Studio code that's pointing to this, and let's open up the package.json file and see what it looks like.
Okay.
Okay, so let's add, see there's a scripts right there. See, notice under scripts it says dev, next dev, build, and start. You follow?
Yeah.
Okay, so those three, we're going to primarily be doing dev, yarn dev, and that'll start a dev environment. But then when you go yarn build, it'll compile it down as server-side rendered code. It'll be packaged to deliver to a production server. And if you want to test that locally, you run yarn start, and it'll run the build because it does
Hmm.
next start. So we're just going to stick with next dev, which starts the server. So right here, let's keep the terminal inside of VS Code here, and
Okay.
down below that, just type yarn dev and hang on to your hat because you're going to now get something started up on localhost 3000 and you didn't have to start up a server. Now I believe Webpack is going to start a local web server utilizing, I believe, Node. Again, remember, I'm not an expert here, but I'm just someone who's practiced and played around, but I'm talking out loud. So I hope all the experts out there are watching this and going, Chad was wrong and that's wrong, but you
Yeah.
got that right. I'm close enough. So let's go check that out in the browser.
Right. You
There
got
you
that?
go. So Zeit is the guys that make it, and Brian Barber is the one who got me kind of turned on to Next.js. Ivan is the one who said, "Well, I liked Razzle because it's a little less opinionated." So there's a lot of frameworks you can use out there to do SSR, but Next.js is plenty good. It's very popular, and we're going to use it. So I've actually played around with updating this code to be my code and how to override the background colors and do this and that. What do you want to do next? Do you want to modify this thing a little bit to make it your own? What do we want to start next? Because
Uh,
let's look. We should look at the directory and see what this app looks like. Let's change this stuff to be your own. So welcome to Next.js. It's going to be welcome to Artificial Galaxies, right?
oh, gotcha. Okay. And so this is our landing page then, essentially, we're looking at then, yeah?
Yeah. And let's
For
take a
now?
look at
Okay.
let's. And so now we're going into VS Code.
Alrighty. And then where's the equivalent of index.html then?
You're gonna now that's the thing about Next is there's a combination of the public folder, open up public, and that's a lot of times where you're gonna put assets like graphics and images, things that are not processed, things that are
Okay.
just gonna be static. Then you're gonna look at like we got styles and we got tables, that's legacy. Components is where your main stuff's gonna be, and pages. This concept of pages and components. So a
Okay.
component would be like a navigation, a footer, a right navigation, breadcrumbs, um, big methods that big functions that do stuff to the view. And then pages are like, yeah, visually it would be like your index.js is your home. If you want an about
Ah,
us, yeah, if you want an about us, it would be about.js. and that kind of thing. So,
Gotcha.
so yeah, index.js seems to have a lot of junk in it right now, where we'd want to probably create a home.js and have index load that by default. And we'll get into using router DOM, but we don't got to do all that right now. Right now, let's just make some mods and migrate some of what we had. So just
Cool.
get a little comfortable with what we're looking at. Ask any questions you want.
Well, how about we slap in how about I like a picture at the top, a header sort of thing, cool background, some cool galaxy.
Yeah, maybe we should do that, but let's like go back to your browser.
Right.
What I'd like you to do first before we go and do other things is let's make this our own first. So what I'd
All
like
right.
you
So
what
change that.
yes. That way you'll get
Oh,
familiar with where that's at.
okay. Nothing title. Makes sense. All right.
But yeah, perfect. And then you can ditch that next paragraph tag.
That old one.
Just yeah, we don't need any of that. And then this extra links, we don't. Well, what are we doing there? That's a card. Yeah, ditch those cards. Those three cards. I guess you could ditch the whole row, huh? You're gonna need that last div tag
All right. So everything within there.
and one more line, 17. Take that out too.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So when you go Control S
Uh-huh.
or Command Control S because you're on your PC, if you
Okay.
Alt tab over to your or whatever, switch over there, notice it hot reloaded. So that's supposed to
Nice.
save you some time. Yeah, now we want to get rid of the header stuff where it says home, Zeit, and GitHub. I want you to
Okay.
change the GitHub to your GitHub to test Mario.
Gotcha. All right.
Now that's going to be under components, not page, and it's going to be
Uh,
in nav.
there we go. And so we want to substitute my actual GitHub for this repo then.
Yeah, just for now. Yeah, just this is you getting used to it and the crowd out there that's cheering us on. Speaking of which, we need to take a break and see how the audience is liking this. So go ahead and do that, but I'm going to contact the audience and see how much they're loving our stuff.
Awesome.
Because
Awesome.
code for here comes the applause. There it is. You can't see it or hear it, Mario. We're working on that, but everybody out there, all four of you watchers out there, that's for you, baby. Okay, they're
I
almost
like
done.
it.
They're almost done. They're still applauding. Okay, enough of that. So much funnier yesterday. You're doing good,
All right.
Mario. Let's see
Well,
your GitHub up there.
I wish I could, but I'm still tracking it down. I know it was actually one you helped me. There it is. Rather be surfing test Mario. There we go.
Well,
Here we go.
that's the URL to the repo. Yeah.
Yeah. So we put that sucker in there then.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty.
Just for now, because eventually it'll be something else that you give out, like your framework that helps them generate whatever envelopes of JSON goodness. And now I'm hearing a ringing in my ears. It's awesome.
There we go.
So it must be like some aliens in the neighborhood or something. Just
All right. And then Zeit, should we keep them in there? Give them their propers?
no,
Okay.
no. Zeit makes the framework. They like that's not no. They
Cool.
unless they want to pay us a Patreon fee. Coming soon to all you four watchers out there. You know, Mario's promised he's going to wear a tank top when he codes. So
Oh, that's
that,
going to
that
drive a lot of the viewership away.
come on, buddy. That's we talked about this offline.
I'm sorry. I mean,
Let's ditch the www.
yeah. Only
Yeah,
old people use that.
it's a TLD and it also affects SEO. And you should not really. You should always go no dubs. Now you
Ah,
know.
okay. See, I'm learning. This is good because last time I did web programming was back in the 90s.
I wonder why you're getting those dash arrows under import. What can you mouse over that? What is it saying?
Where are you seeing those?
You don't see the squigglies under your imports?
Back then. Yeah.
What does that say? Import is only available
ESC.
using that for JS hint. So yeah, you've got some linting, hinting stuff going on. That's
Oh, down here. I should be able, maybe I can like fill it. Yeah, I could
yeah.
remove the JS linting in the meantime. Will that screw with you?
I could have swore no. I mean, I could
No?
have.
Okay.
I'm surprised the Create React app didn't come with some ESLint stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
our Create Next, but leave it if you want, or you can update the
Okay.
file.
Cool, cool. So save.
It is a little
Done.
distracting though, but
Here I'll I can't. Mm, mm, Where the heck? Well, let's go ahead and
you're looking for the browser.
yeah, darn it.
It's localhost port 3000.
Ta-da! There
Okay, home, Artificial Galaxies, GitHub. Welcome to Artificial Galaxies. So this gives us a good enough starting point. Oh, cool, you got 404s and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
just all over.
wait, oh, you need to put a HTTP in front of that. But
Uh,
notice that the framework is already giving us stuff built in, like a
mhm.
404 page, which is
Oh
pretty
yeah, I
cool.
did see that. That was kind of cool. So if I boom, it looks slick instead of something dumb.
Yeah, and like you can code all this in React, and people will be proud of you that you're so good at React, but it's not so much a standard. When you go on to your next company in 6 months or like a year or two later, someone else comes in, they're like, okay, this is custom stuff. Whereas when we do it with Next, it's like, hey, at least you can maybe find a Next developer. They can already have docs. So put a HTTP in front of your,
Gotcha. Oh, it's Sublime. We got to get rid of
oh
that.
Lord.
No.
And why that URL? We're not doing is wdev. Is that you?
Yeah.
That's you? That's your
Well, it's
domain?
another one. Yeah,
Put,
it's another one too. But I got artificial galaxies too.
yeah, that's what we want for now. Okay, so you've made all these changes. I'd like you to do a commit and do
Okay.
like, you know, init, create next app, and some
Oh,
changes. Like whatever.
all right.
So
So,
one thing is like you're sending your node modules directory up and your yarn integrity file. We're going to probably remove the node modules from the build, but go ahead and push everything up for now. But normally you don't commit your node modules directories. You put it in the git ignore.
right. All right. So,
Now, let's be a little more descriptive with our commits. Like, if I was just came to work and you were here yesterday, I'd be like, "What did Mario do?" And he's like, "Added next package," and I didn't know what Next.js was. I
you'd be
didn't,
fired.
So added the React, like added the, I don't know, just be descriptive as possible. It's a good habit to get for anybody out there watching. So added the React create next app CLI. What are these called? Boilerplate and some minor changes. And I guess you don't need a description. That title's long enough, but you get the point. All right, let's commit it. And everybody out there now knows how damn controlling I am. And then press push to origin. Push origin.
All right. Aren't there like 34,000 files that we copied on over? Or,
Yeah, that's all going to be the node modules directory, which is like if we wanted to look inside your local directory inside Visual in VS Code and see
hmm,
if you have a git ignore file. Yep, you just
uh,
passed it. And then in there, yeah, it's supposed to be ignoring the node modules directory, so I'm not sure why. Meanwhile, I'm
let's
gonna get my GitHub open and I'm gonna get your latest on my
do
end.
it.
And then in a few minutes, I'll probably make our screens somewhat side by side on share, and then I can start working on parts of the app too. Like maybe I'll put the footer in there and do a commit, and then you can bring it down and you'll have my footer. Meanwhile, you work on a different piece. So now we're like straight up collaborating, bro.
Nice.
Yeah,
But
I'm paying you to say that I'm nice on video, but after I'm really nice, like off videos.
yeah, Chad's pretty awesome. You have to admit it. I was told I have to admit it.
I just love the fact I'm not running the stupid Zoom screen that's like chopping off my nose anymore. It's like at least I can have my weird background, my weird office real background. Okay, open Visual Studio Code. So what's next, do you think? Like, I think we're seeing that you got your code up. I think we need to make some design decisions. We're now set up. Time check, 1 o'clock.
Nice. All
So
right.
yeah, before we go straight to Abramov's stuff with suspense, we need to look at kind of what we had in our old app, which is also in the same directory, right? Can
Right.
you so go to your localhost 3000 and see if you can hit test.html and see if it renders.
So there's that. Making sure. Yes. Oh, Tony, I got a 404.
Check your directory again. So remember, static files are going to be processed in a different way. So that's a good point. The React app
Oh,
is gonna no, that doesn't matter. The React app is
okay.
gonna process index.js from the server and serve that up, and test.html is probably needs to be moved to the public directory. So just copy and paste it to public.
Okay. What about
Not
that?
not no well no don't do that, man.
Copy.
I'm gonna call you on the phone right now and say I'm talking to you distinctly here. So if I say copy, I meant copy. Now I am a jerk. The reason why we're doing that is we still want a working model. We could still fire up an HTTP server, run it on a different port, and port it to that file without no code changes and see it run. So,
Oh, I gotcha. There's a reason to it. You're not just being controlling. You got specific reasons behind it for dev.
right, and when we're doing pair programming, sometimes we move into this mode where it's like someone needs to be talking real distinctly. Like, so if I
Yeah.
say copy, I mean copy, I don't mean cut. So,
Gotcha.
so hit test.html. And
There we
there it is.
go.
So now you can make code mods to that test.html that need to reference paths, or we can move everything that we were working with down into public for now. We'll end up deleting it out as we migrate, but it'll give you a chance to test.
Nice. Well, it looks like it does need the tables directory on in there. Should I make a copy and paste into the public?
Yeah, I think at this point I can uncontrol a little bit and be like, your choice. Maybe if we move it, let's see what happens. It should work, right? Just you can just do whatever you want, boss.
Yeah. Well, let's copy. That way we still have a safe spot for where it did work, not running any React. All right. Oh, and classes. Copy. So I'm assuming public is pretty much is what it sounds like. Place where that particular instance that we're running right now is actually going to go and grab all the data that's the root.
Yeah, like for instance, with images, when you use an image like a PNG or an SVG, you can process them through the React framework. There you go.
I got that.
And you'll run all those down in the source directories. But if you just want to reference them statically, you've got to host them inside your public directory.
Okay.
So that's an option. So I think, do we now have a fully running version of what we're migrating away from?
Yeah, that's it right in here.
So let's go ahead and clear out what's in root that we don't need anymore.
Okay.
Test.html and all that.
Okay.
I feel like I should be
Classes.
playing music in the background, but yeah, not today.
There we go.
No
Now, as
good
I
times.
delete these, then I can actually move this. Then we could do our commit down the road, and that'll reflect.
Yeah, and so the thing about the commits and working in teams, like I'm gonna bring down your commit right now, and then on my end, let's say I was in QA, or maybe I was just co-developing with you and we're being really careful, I would also get this to build on my machine. Or we'll also get it to build on the staging machine. And I'll be like, okay, good. That last commit you did, I brought it down. I also got it to build. Phew, everything's looking good. And then you can feel good that you don't need to roll back or that you didn't go too far at once.
Mm,
So I'm going to do that now on my side. Meanwhile, I am going to ask you to do another commit up because that's a pretty major change, deleting some
yeah,
directories and files out. So
gotcha.
this time use a title that like when someone reads it, it's like code migration remove certain directories, and then maybe in the description, be descriptive, be distinct. It's like, hey, I removed these directories by name, and I also made a copy of them for testing in public.
Oh, okay. Mhm. Put that up. And then in the description,
There's an art to this, and we're getting it. So on my end, I'm gonna actually yarn dev your app on my local and see if everything's running good. Error command failed. Test Mario. Oh, I need to build your app. Sorry, yarn. So in order for mine to compile, because it didn't, well, it's already up to date. So let's ls, and then there's the package file, yarn dev.
am I good to push that commit though, or should I hold off?
Well, I don't know. It's weird. It's not building on my side, and I do have. I just basically got all your code. So, and when you ran your installer, you did an npm, right? So let me do npm install. Yeah, I probably got to run an npm install. Yarn says I was up to date. And this is like a little bit of me not being 1,000% sure, but sometimes a little bit of thrashing. It's like some projects I deal with, they've been built with npm, and it's like run your npm. Others are saying don't use npm, just use yarn. So sometimes when I thrash a little bit, I'm like, well, my yarn won't start up, so I'm gonna go ahead and run a full npm install. Then that'll build my node modules. Then I'll run yarn dev, which will use yarn to run the app. So it's like, good lord.
Oh,
Why don't they just bring out one more package manager for the game? I would say go ahead and run your commit, man. You're still running everything good on your local?
yep, yep.
Yeah, commit away, sir.
Alrighty.
Yeah, there's a pretty big install happening on my side. No, none of the audience can see it because we're watching your screen full on live stream. And we did get a like. We got one like. Let me give a
Yay.
shout out to whoever might be watching. We haven't gotten really good at watching comments and our stuff. It's like, hey, we're live. They're like, are you sure you're live? I'm talking to you. And you're like, here we go. Yeah, one like from Lee Maurer.
Lee, right on.
Yeah,
Hope we helped
Lee.
out some way.
Lee Maurer. Let's go over here. And it says we're live. He's dropped off, but hey, that's nice. He gave us a like, and that's beautiful. That's the support we need. This is why we do it live for the likes
Do it.
and the Patreon that's coming out next Saturday. I'm gonna actually Google that. Like, what is a Patreon all about? Everybody's doing it. Did you watch that Leon Love? You haven't seen the one where he checks out, and I shouldn't bring this up on the live stream, but he checks out certain channels on YouTube where they clean their house and they have Patreon. It's like these people are cleaning their home, and some people actually pay $1,000 a month Patreon to watch
Wow.
them. Yeah, so you figure out the rest on your end, why that's even happening.
Are they doing
But
anything like in particular while they're
my
cleaning?
it's
Or?
something to do with what they're wearing and who they are as
Oh,
a person.
oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
I see.
that's why I'm gonna need you to wear a tank top next show.
I'm
So,
down for the team, so
I'll do it too, man. I haven't these shoulders haven't seen the sun in a while. So how are we looking? You got your push, you got your deal. On my end, it looks like I got an npm update, and now I'm gonna run yarn dev and wonder if I get an error.
well, I
Oh,
hope there's
guess
none.
what? Mine is now running on port 3000. So me being your QA, and what do they call those dudes in the back? The peanut gallery? That's me.
Yes,
That's me. I'm your peanut gallery, baby.
I like it.
All right, so what's up next? What if we were to migrate our layout? We can build a lot of this in index.js right now, or we can make a component, much like there's one for nav, or we can make a page and we can import the guts of that into index.js for now.
Okay.
Um, Maybe we ought to do that. So back over in your VS Code, I want you to make a file called, Like the guts of what we're looking with the list box and all that. What would we be doing? What's the name of that page?
Huh, that was just like an object browser. We were viewing
Okay.
randomly created animals for data. So we call it animal.html.
Yeah, but generically we may work with other things
Oh, you want
than animals.
like a label? We can just call it like a object instance browser. I know it doesn't sound exciting, but that's what it is.
And how many browsers will we have in the system?
I actually had this. Let's take a look at the classes here.
We can
No,
rename it later, but it's like
yeah,
instance browser, data browser, or do we just call it browser?
I guess browser would work for me.
Okay. Let's stop the live share and I'm gonna call you and we'll talk about this. I'm kidding. It's stupid. One of
Let's
these jokes.
get a focus group going. Yeah,
Let's
they're
get a
gonna have
focus group.
fun.
Let's get some UML diagrams. Browser.js. Let's make it in the pages directory, baby. Let's so studying what's in pages. We have index.js.
Mhm.
Um, you can kind of see that we have import React, next head, const home, and index.js. I believe gets called first. So go ahead and just clone this entire page, like copy and
Mhm.
paste it over on the left there. You don't got to do it that way. You can just copy and paste the page.
Oh, this guy right here.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then let's rename that and call that browser.js. And then when you go inside a browser, now let's change the const from home and call it browser, following the title case on line
All
5.
right. So this guy
Yeah.
instead of home.
Yep. And then, yep. And next time you can do Control D for any instances of that, because there's probably an export at the bottom. Let's see.
Uh,
Let's see if there is.
well,
Yeah. So you would have had
hey, let's.
3.
Let me practice that now. That's something I've been meaning to find out. I'm familiar with it in Sublime, but how do I do it now?
Control
Control.
D. Control D.
Gotcha. All righty.
Did you get the third? You got the third? Cool.
That was all by the Control D.
Oh, you didn't do Control D 3 times
What? Oh, you have to do it.
for each one of them. Yeah, it doesn't. There's probably a shortcut for like all of them.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now let's change the body of this code to be like not welcome to artificial galaxies, but browser, like between the
Okay.
title tags right there. Right.
Oh,
Great. And then now let's go back over to index.js. So save that. Make sure to save your files.
there we go.
And then back over to index.js. Now, what we're going to want to do is just after the H1 tag, we're going to do an import of browser. So at line 4, I want you to type in import browser from, and then the single quotes, and in between that, it's going to be page, yeah, dot forward slash pages slash browser. Notice there's no extension. And then now you got to go,
Okay.
now that browser as a component essentially exists, you're going to go now down between on line 16 and you're going to bring it in.
All righty. So,
And so just basically like a div tag, you're just going to type browser, capital B, capital B. Yep.
uh,
Close that, close the tag. There you go. And hit save and go test it in the browser
hey, speaking of the browser, I got a newbie question. I accidentally closed the tab with my index page on there. How do I get that back?
with your index page.
Yeah, how do I bring that up, that live page that's being served right now? Or was that
You
localhost?
go to Chrome and type in localhost port 3000
There we go. Localhost 3000.
and it already rendered. So
Nice.
notice what about our template page we cloned, we don't want to bring in the navigation again. So
Right.
go back in and let's update that.
Okay. We don't want nav
Right.
or the header.
Probably don't need head, yeah. You can take the head out.
Oh,
And then we probably head will probably yeah, you can probably get rid of the head tags in here too and get rid of that nav component there, line 6. And you may not need to double style this sucker, so you could probably everything with the see the little backticks there on line 10. that actually have all the CSS in there, starting in line 10.
Yeah.
Everything between the backticks, see if you can just clear that out and leave it empty, and it won't get mad. Because
Okay.
we may utilize some CSS specific to this page. You're gonna go all the way to the tick, from tick to tick. Oh, you did. You're
Please,
tick
it's
tick
me.
master. You are tick master. Well, we got to start at 5 a.m. next time because I was up early and I had all my coffee and I was ready. Now I need to do a solemn meditation rest moment.
All
Oh,
right, look at that.
should I get the cheers out?
I think that's worthy of a cheers. I would like it centered though. What's up?
Yeah, we'll work on styling that because that's why we have the styled area where we're gonna figure out
Oh,
how we can style it. But meanwhile, I'm gonna take a moment here to let the folks that know that at home know that one of my mentors, I guess it's Leon Love. He's been on YouTube 10 years, and he has the funniest video he did about. He watched a video. He watches videos. You know this, Mario. So I'm just giving everybody the preface, and
no,
it
give me
gets
30
people.
seconds. I'll be back. I'm
You're gonna go
listening.
use the bathroom. All right. So
Yep.
everybody at home, hopefully Mario keeps his mic on so we can hear the rainfall. But there's this guy named Leon Love, and he basically watches other YouTube videos of people that get millions of views, and then he just does comedy above it. So with that preface, I'm gonna go ahead and play one that he's. It's called "Oh My God, Guys! Oh My God, Guys!" Here we go.
Guys, y'all not gonna believe what I found, guys. I was just walking through my own backyard on my early morning jog, guys, like I always do, guys, and I found something crazy, guys. You're not gonna believe this, guy. Yo, guys, if you want to see what I found, guys, you gotta.
Okay, nobody could see that because I'm sharing Mario's screen on my OBS. So let's try that again. Let's go back to OBS. You can hear it. So this whole like station break right here, if anybody's still sitting here, is to make sure that you're subscribed. Yes, we got long content. No, we don't expect that anybody is gonna watch this long, but this is just hilarious to me. Here we go.
Guys, y'all not gonna believe what I found, guys. I was just walking through my own backyard on my early morning jog, guys, like I always do, guys, and I found something crazy, guys. You're not gonna believe this, guy. Yo, guys, if you want to see what I found, guys, you gotta smash that like button for me. Guys, if you want to smash that like button for me, please smash that like button, guys.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold the phone, Leon. What the hell are you doing out there?
I'm just trying out a new style of content that has been proven to work quite well. I wish you would just give me a chance.
Okay, I'll play along. What do you got?
You're never gonna believe it, guys. I was just walking through this park.
He's
It's
still
so
doing
crazy.
it.
Guys, check this out, guys. Monkey in the tree, guys. Monkey in the tree.
He's
I
got
found
the
a monkey
monkey.
in the tree, guys. My God.
So the point of that whole video is that he's watching the other guy who finds Georgie's boat in the park, and that guy's got terrible content but millions of viewers. So we brought it in to say this is who's inspiring me to tell you guys smash that like button, guys. Smash that like button. How's he do
Like
it?
and
Smash
subscribe.
it.
Smash it. Smash
Guys,
it.
you're not gonna believe what I just found, guys. Okay, back to you. Let's get back to this, and I gotta fix the OBS. This is one of those videos where I'm not going to watch this one. I'm just going to let this one sit out there and let's bring Mario back into full screen. Dear Mario.
You're,
Full,
you're worth it, buddy.
so let's recap. For those that are joining, they were busy having a life and now they want to learn some magic. We installed the Next.js with their CLI using npx. Is this English? I think so. So npx create next app gave us a server-side rendering React application with a whole bunch of starter boiler code, an existing navigation, and a whole lot of stuff we can start the party with. Then we have a legacy app that we did the other day when we were teaching you how to make spaghetti code with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery, and now we're bringing it forward to the now. Smash that like button, guys. Smash that like button. Okay. How you feeling? On a scale of 10 out of 10, Mario, stealing last week's joke.
I'm feeling pretty good. This is again, repetition is what it's all about, and coming from a non-web dev background, that seemed to be pretty painless. As long as I had someone ride shotgun with me to get Next installed and get all those modules installed. The command line seems to be pretty mature these days to install everything you need to get that whole environment done. So yeah, I'm digging it. And I like how it looks.
Well, good. Good. So smash that like button and let's make some more stuff happen. So
done.
this is where it's going to show that I don't really know React because this is what's next. And that should be the title of our series. I don't really know React. And let's get tabs side by side of the legacy app and this new page so we can just look at this visually and talk about what's next.
I wish we could, but I migrated the test.html on into the existing one.
It'll still run. Just go
Oh,
slash test.html.
oh
Just
well, in
put
that case,
so tabs next, two tabs next to each other, please.
alrighty.
There's your replit.
There's that, and here is. Oops, darn you.
Good.
Good enough.
Okay, so functionally, I know we're going down some roads where we may change the way the application works, but functionally, what we have now is legacy. So click load, and it does that. So what we'll want to do now with create next React app stuff that we just did is we're going to want to make a button called load animal, right? And
Yeah.
then we're going to want to have a drop down list. Then when we click load animal, gets the JSON data from disk and does pretty much the same kind of code that we did. And so I'm almost 100% certain that it's already 120, that within 40 minutes we may only have the UI pieces in place, or we may only have the component in place. So let's not expect that we're going to know what we're doing. Meaning we could use our time wisely to just start cranking on this and then stop with like no time left and be like, oh crap, next time, right? Or we can just build a component. So we have browser now, and we want to get the three UI components in the layout. Let's not work about like tough functional code or loading JS or looking at like complex stuff. Let's get the UI done next. So
I'm down.
we need three UI pieces in React, a button, a list box. Is that what those are called? Is lists?
I believe.
What are they called in HTML again? Select. They're called selects. I know because I helped you do it. There it is, line 41.
Alrighty.
Line 41.
Ta-da.
Yeah. So like that, we may be able to bring just static HTML over to React, but that's not really what React is all about. And there's probably a React way to do forms. And we haven't even looked at a form library. There's probably a native way. And if Victoria was here, she'd be like, don't use a library, an additional one, use native. Okay, so got that? So the next step we're doing is just get those three pieces into the layout.
Alrighty.
So we need a React button. And remember, we didn't really learn yesterday. Let's say insert Next.js React button. Can you Google that?
Okay.
They're going to have something called button, basic examples, custom routing, use a component that supports on click. Here's a div with a link and an image and a click function. So I'm going to give you something on Discord that if we wanted to, we could start with an image that's clickable, but it's using link. It is going to get us in the right direction for some boiler code. So here comes the Discord of love. You know what we're having for lunch today?
What?
Tacos.
Nice.
I can't believe you didn't guess that. It won't be sushi. Okay,
Nice.
Discord's loading. So yeah, that takes you to React strap buttons, but I'm not sure we can make the decision now to bring in a UI library, and I did that with my next app. I started using Material Design. Um, so open up another tab and type in Material Design, React. It could get a little messy if I recall trying to get them to work together. It wasn't too bad, but yeah, that one right there, a popular UI framework. So basically, you run some npm installs, we install core, and then we install the Material UI theme, and then we can start doing things the Material UI way. But I still want to stay native for a little bit and see.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay, so look at that. They have a button component. I'm just going to change my mind every second, but here comes your link. So now that we're using next. There's the next way to do stuff, and then when we introduce Material UI, there'll be the Material UI way to do stuff, and there might be times where we have to decide which would be better, do it this way or that way. If one's related to the theme, then that way. If one's related to the backend, then maybe the create next way. So here's your link.
I kind of like keeping it native. That's just my preference. So
Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with
there
that.
we go.
And I'm gonna look up the React library for React UI components. Not native, meaning like for the browser. I mean for the mobile, but React UI, Material UI components React. Okay, yeah, there you go. Oh my God, what language is this? It's like giving it to me in like Chechnyan or whatever, Russian.
Wow,
I know.
I need
Oh,
to see that.
do I have my? I might have my VPN on.
Oh,
Bleh.
it's taking you to that Russian site up there. ru.react.
Espanol. It's tricking me. It gives me everything but English. Okay, React, English, components. Oh God, someone needs to talk to these guys, man, about, there it is, UI components, community UI components. You know something's wrong when you got to have Google translate the page. Are you waiting for me?
Me?
Yeah. Okay, so you see that example right there where he's got my button
Yeah,
with a link, const my button equals React forward left.
yeah,
There's an
yeah.
href. I like this link and then my button. I like it, dude. But the
Can
one
we
I
just
sent,
grab that quickly?
well, not yet, because the one I sent you also showed a click event.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So I also like this too, except he's using an image or whoever did it. And notice that there's the click method right there.
Hmm.
So just keep these handy so that we can like make some munged code. And then
Cool.
over here, I'm looking at the generic React way to do a button, which is community UI components.html. And it's just really screwing me over on the English side here.
Learn Russian then, man. What's your problem?
I can't believe that this is happening, dude. Site can't be reached. Like, why React? Okay, components based. Maybe if I spent more time on the site, I would know what I was doing.
Don't be foolish.
Try React, learn React, styled forms, online playgrounds, code pen. Oh, I can't. Oh my God. So far, zero for ease of getting the documentation.
Yeah.
Components, UI components. Step one, break the UI into components. Rendering components and props. All right, go ahead and copy and paste their stuff.
All right, so we got that guy in the buffer, and where do we slap him, man?
Let's use the link one also. Like I like that one better with the link because we're not dealing with now shoehorning an image in to be our button.
This one. Okay.
Yeah. So we just pay attention to the fact that we already have import React from React, but
Right.
you'll need to import link from next link.
Okay. So we already got that
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And
And you don't need to be doing this in the index.js file.
oh, okay. Where's the target? Where are we going for?
Well, what are we working on?
Well, we
Come
were
on,
doing the
save index,
browser.
save the index file so you don't leave it just hanging. Okay. Yep. So where are we moving our UI? Everything's component based,
Oh, browser.
right?
Now we're talking.
And you're not gonna. Okay, that's good. You got that. Nailed it. All right. So there's const my button, my button, my button, and then there's browser. Now it looks like it's doing an export. So you don't want to do a default
Oh,
export. Yeah, you don't want to do any of that. You just want the my button piece on line 15.
okay. So,
Just take line 15, copy line 15 and delete everything from line 12 to 18 after.
okay. Boom.
And then put that my button thing you have not there. It has to go inside of our I don't know what that is. It's a function.
That browser.
Yeah, it's an arrow function deal.
Okay.
And it's going to come up above your title. That's probably should go below your title.
Oh, okay. It's order of listing then.
You can go after
And
the.
within
We don't need it in
within
the
the div or
hero.
not?
Take it out of the hero. So line 19.
Alrighty.
All right, so save it and see what we got.
So,
Oh, it looks mad. Go back. No need to run it.
oh, okay.
See, like it's mad about the component slash nav import nav from. Why do we have that in browser? We don't need. Do we need the nav in browser?
Was
We do.
that from the original?
Remove line 15. You just left that code laying around after we'd
The
cleared
code
out.
just moved on.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then get rid of const home. What the hell is going on? Get rid of line 16. And then go, can you
alright.
go down to the bottom, please? Make sure there's no artifacts. Man, I don't know if you didn't save on browser or not because we still have all that CSS that we already removed.
Every time I save, it keeps on putting an extra thing in here. That's weird. Wow. Every time I save, what is that up here?
Well, I hope it's not that visual VS Code sharing thing we got going on.
Sure hope not.
Let me go make sure I don't. I'll just close my VS Code.
Okay.
I don't have any of your files open, so it's just me being a terse jerk there. Terse jerk. But I do. It is asking me to reconnect to this stuff. I mean, I'm sure that stuff is amazing, but like, let's just learn one thing at a time.
Alright. Chad left. Well done.
Good. Are you able to save? So go down to the bottom, make sure we're const browser is browser, not home.
There we go.
And then clear out the duplicate CSS we have starting in line 75 on between the backticks.
Alright.
And then we don't need to be saying welcome to Artificial Galaxies. We need to be saying browser instead of that between the H1.
Oh, I nuked that on. Alright.
Save. Okay, now
Yeah.
let's where's your component for the button, dude? Let's put button back after line 29.
Yeah. Alright.
Oh, we lost all that too?
I'm just playing it safe here, I think. Did we?
No, it's
Make
all up
blank.
there. No,
Oh,
man.
there it is.
So put
Okay.
button back on line 29. Wait, what are you doing? Undo that. Control Z that. All right, I'm going to start talking real distinct. Online, go to line 29.
Right.
Make the button tag. So type greater than button, or it's called my button. My bad. My button, because that's what you consted it, right? And then my
Yeah.
button. My button.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. Let's check the code. Why is it mad at the on line 9? There's like a little red dash. If it's saying something about ES6, I'm gonna be pissed. Unclosed regular expression, JS hint, ES5. Yeah, your hinter's really hinting at a lot of lameness.
Yeah.
So save, and then let's go run this thing.
Alright.
We really don't need the head in line 18 to 21 either. We're gonna have two head tags in our app. Remember, index.js is kind of our master at the moment. So save that.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Alright.
All right, good. So you got an extra. So nav is not defined. So line 17. Go to line 17. Which file was it mad at? Can you tell him the debugger? Oh yeah, right there, line 18, dude. Line 18.
Okay.
Remember, this is a guts page. This is loaded into the master. We wouldn't want a duplicate nav.
Cool. Okay.
Save.
Let's try it again.
Yeah. Great. Great. What happens if you click it? Nothing.
Nothing.
Huh. That's a great example they have, but it's supposed to be a link, and it says you never use link. Can you go back and I don't think you. Let's go look at the code. So down there we go again. This time, don't copy just all the exports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
See now what? Notice the my button tag.
Mm-hmm.
Notice the my button tag. Down,
Mm-hmm.
down further.
Ah.
Yeah,
That
no.
guy
So what is missing from this picture?
with the
No,
slash
no
forward
cut.
link.
Yes.
That guy. Ah,
All right, save that.
nice. Oh, oh,
You clicked it?
I did, but
Can you
I think it's
click?
trying to
Can you?
take. I think
Can
it's trying to
you?
take us to a non-existing
Would you click
page.
back, please? Would you click back on the browser, please?
There we go.
Can you reload the page, please? And so, like, what? So we think that's a link. Without clicking it and going to another again, it did take us somewhere, correct?
It did.
All right. So that's because up there we've established that on-click href does something. It says on-click href and href need to be passed to the DOM element for proper handling. Great. So ahref equals href, and then let's go back to the guy's docs, and we need to tell it basically what href is supposed to be.
Is that expecting a target URL?
So right there, where you see where it says href equals slash another.
There it is. Yes, this guy.
Yeah, so that right there is basically the navigating, where we were looking for something that also does a click state, but now we sort of have a button, and we could style it to look like a button, which we'll have to do. Which seems like kind of like a tough way to go around making a button, but whatever. We could have imported material design and gotten the button quick, but who cares? We just needed a link. We basically have a link. And then right now it's using the href property attribute, and it's going to go and it's going to get a 404. We don't want it to go anywhere. We want to fire a click event. So go back over to the the net create next documentation, and then they had an example of click event. It was either higher or lower. It was like where I sent you a link. Handle click children.
There we go.
So that's kind of interesting. You just got the thing called click right there. And I guess this is me not knowing exactly what we do next without, we'll have to look at some code and figure it out. But what we want to do is that when you click the event, not navigate, we want to click the event and do an on click and call a function that does something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's up next to learn. So it says right there, link supports any components that support the on-click event. In case you don't provide an A tag, it will only add the on-click event handler and won't pass the href. It won't, okay, right there. You don't provide an A tag, it will only add the on-click event handler and won't pass the href property. So the secret it's showing right there is that it does link, it does it on an image, which I guess we could do it on text, but it says if you don't provide the A, then it won't try to navigate. So well, that's fine. Why don't we just use an image like their demo here? So
Okay.
copy the link tags right there, and let's go
Paste that.
down. Yeah, let's go
Okay.
down, and then we'll go to our code, and then we'll override that. Paste that. So now we're not using, and then you could, I don't know. You know what? Sorry, back up, undo all that. I'm so sorry. And
Okay. No worries.
just take the href crap off. Like take that off line 21. Take the
Yeah.
href off.
There
Yep.
we go.
And then we know that's gonna fire up at the top my button, and it's like, hey, href does that, my react, forward href, const. According to their example code, we could do some sort of a function on click. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is working with overriding the ahref and the on click event, and does some BS. So now we need to figure out how is it that the const my button is react.forward ref. I guess the forward reference to the on click. We don't need the href. So delete lines 7 through 9.
Okay. Wow. Caffeine, Maury.
You hit the arrow on the left there. Can you make sure there's no artifacts? Yeah, so let's give us a little space
Alright.
and then do like console.log and then just put like test. Yeah, I don't think you need to do the semicolon, but it depends on your linting and your choice. And then
All right.
take out the attribute href and the comma on line 6. So I think what we're doing here is doing react.forward reference to this button, and the on click event is definitely going to get fired and passed along. Hopefully we say console log test when you click that button. So save it and test it. And if it doesn't work, it's because I don't know React. So we don't even see the button now. We're going to get an error. No, we know there's something wrong here because we didn't even see the link anymore.
Hmm.
So select all this, line 6 through 9. How about this? Commit what you have, and I'll hack on it on my side for a minute.
Okay.
You want to try that?
Yeah, let's do it. So just delete 6 through 9, then push the commit.
No, you can leave it as is. We'll push up some errors. Go ahead.
Oh.
We'll make the executive decision here. And then I'm going to come over here on OBS, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and have to ask you to work on a Sunday on learning some stuff.
Yeah. We're learning some React.
All right. I'm minimizing your square there, your square share. Wait, what happened? I got the wrong box. There you go.
Minimized.
So now, but you're still able to see my screen?
Yeah.
On the dual screen? Good. Okay, so you can see my OBS. You're still active and happening. We're going to make you the thumbnail king right there. And then I'm going to, what do I have left to do? Get this out of our view. And
Yeah,
then
I still see OBS nice and big. There we go.
it's
Okay.
gone now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm going to bring over GitHub. And there's Test Mario. He's got it down. I'm going to bring it down. I am running your app. I did close my Visual Studios to change the world there and open up Visual Studio Code. All right, and then I will run my terminal and I'll run your app, and then we'll hack on it a little bit and see, do some Googling. And on your side, if you want to co-Google with me, like any code that says like example on click event on a button, go ahead and pass it my way. But that's also what I'm going to be doing on my end too.
Okay.
So let's wait for this bad boy to open up. I'm going to do a time check. It's 1:42, Mario.
Well, I don't know. Coming close to it.
Yeah, so
Can we do it?
well, no, I don't want. Last thing I want to do is close out our videos and not be like comprehensive of how far we've come and what we've done, and then do our rollout. Like I hate doing videos, and I don't mind saying live, where it's like right up to the last second, they're like, okay, see you later, bye. Like it's time to recap and just take a breath. So we got 18 minutes. I do think we can get a click event on a button going here pretty good during that time.
It's a button.
But 2 o'clock is your cutoff, right?
Yeah, let's aim for it.
Okay. I love it, man. I told you this video wouldn't be as awesome as yesterday's video.
Right.
Is it? Is this a better
Yeah.
video? We've done
It
a
was
lot
more.
though.
This is definitely more comprehensive as far as the coding and the learning. The jokes, I
The
don't
jokes aren't
know.
as good.
We've been batting 500 maybe, if that. But
Yeah, the jokes, man. But we did get a Leon Lush's thing in there, and maybe I should,
guys,
guys, guys. You never see believe what I saw. Smash that like button. Look, it's got me connected to seeing you type again. This is all right. I guess this
hey,
is cool. Yeah, I am the greatest. But yeah. I guess this is where I ask you to not type,
homie,
or
you're connected again.
yeah,
That's great. That live thing, I gotta ditch that.
it's okay. I mean, live
Remove the
share,
participant. Done. Sick of
cool,
that guy.
cool. but you left your, there we go. All right. It's redoing something now. It's had its heart in the right place. Maybe we just rookies, but it's totally screwing over my deal here. Okay. Right click, open Visual Studio again, and let's hope that it doesn't reconnect to you.
Go ahead and connect.
I just want the source code. That's okay. Test Mario. All right, Mario, take a look on the screen. We got pages, we got browser.js, and there's your latest. And then we want to do a click event when we do this button here, console log test. And then I need that example code that was like on click event. What was it? Next.js example button click. And documentation. That did not do it. And I went down to basic examples using a component that supports on click. Here was that example there. Click, click with a link. So he just sticks that right there. And then function unexpected name. Read more, click on click. You can do an on click directly in there. That would fire a method, but we want to call a method that's in the page. Router.push path name. Yep. Const handle router URL. So this is an anonymous function right here. And we just want to be able to trap. So that's like when it clicks it, it calls it. Ahref, path name about, using component on click. There was the link. Replace the link. Here's home, click again. Beautiful examples. Unexpected. Link. I kind of want to see that one that you had that had the button. Did I give you that one or did you find that one? Let me check.
No, that was the one we got from that same page you're looking at.
Where
It
is
had
it?
the go away to other. Let me find it.
Okay, I found it. It's right here. Const my button equals that. So react.forward. I think it's the react.forward ref. I think it was basically this right here. See how that just has plain text?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're just gonna keep guessing on stuff. It's mad about that. Did it seem to? My button, we'll put her back up in there. And then it's mad. Why is it mad, Mario? Let's take the whole thing.
I wish I knew. What the heck?
Okay, we're back to not mad. But we don't want to pass the href. And I guess it said if we didn't do that, it
was
wouldn't
going to provide a.
it wouldn't forward. If we don't pass href, that was the docs that said that. Whoops. It's not mad. And then we're gonna go yarn dev. Basically, I want to see it render, say click me, and then on click ref, and then it's doing that. And then we want to figure out where we stick the console.log. If we're just trying to basically, we're going to shoehorn in our function from our other stuff. And this is why people like practice offline and they're like, look, I got this. It's all so easy. Okay, click me, and then inspect. Console has an error. Let's clear it. Clear the console. Reload and see if anything loads up. Mad. Yep. Failed to type. Prop href is not marked as required in link. So link is required. Href right there. Warning prop type, the prop href is marked as required in link. So using the link, it wants the href method, and this is straight up beginner React stuff for us, huh? That's why I say we're learning this together.
That's why
So,
I said it.
so that when they use the image example, maybe we cheat and go over to using that. But I was trying to make like a hybrid. Look at that. Return is a function. They just do the click event right there, but I don't quite get. What do you think we do with this? Click like that, and then click. Do you think that this just runs an expression?
I'm gonna say function,
Right?
right?
Well, that's what the braces mean. It's like it's processed as JavaScript. Link supports any component that supports the on-click event. In case you don't provide an A tag, it will only add the on-click event handler and won't pass the href property. So that's where up here, like even though we have something called my button, what else could we be using that's not an A? Like, do we want to use a div and see if like we can get away with? We just need
Yeah.
something else, and then
What about rerouting?
yeah, we do want to route. That's for sure. I'm just waiting for more errors to come in. Failed prop type href is marked as required in link. But it was telling us href isn't required. Like link, href, this is some straight up rookie stuff. Like we're gonna have to probably put that dang void, JavaScript void, like so it doesn't get mad and try to navigate. Yeah,
Let's see.
I got something, and then so this
There's
is
one.
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say there's one with URL object where it shows like it's pointing to a link and it gives you an external page on the docs down there.
What we're trying to do though is click call a function. We're not trying to navigate. So linking, we got that. Href navigation, we got that. What we want to do is Next.js, how to call a function on click. And consider handling on click in Next.js, next link elements. So here this guy's having a fun time with it too. Got it. Currently, next link will ignore on-click props set on link or contained a elements import link from next link. Const custom handle click is equal console.log free pizza. This is my kind of guy. Somewhere,
Right.
but clicking, this is because on-click handler that contain the A tag is overridden by the next link. If this were to be changed a good way, we'll be checking for and calling the on-click prop pass to the link element. Why I would consider changing the on-click handlers on the this is not a good API generally because it's not sure what you could do with that handler. I get the point. Okay, consider a solution like this. Link clicked E render this dot claim return react dot clone element child props. Yeah, big help, dude. Courtesy of the great. Oh, we need to follow this guy. Oh, he's the guy I bagged on.
Yeah.
Import link from that. Import React class. My link extends React component. This dot props. A if this dot props dot on click this dot prop like clicking class same component extends. Man, this is not what we needed. We want to click something and then call an internal function. Click event. Navigation and routing. I see you got that. Time check. 7 minutes. Rendering components in on click events. Oh, we've taught everybody out there so much. So here's like the in-app. Here's like something called, this is interesting. Here's something called div with props.title. He had a button in there. Uses div. Then you just use a straight up generic button. This stuff's gonna be super easy for us within the next like 48 hours, but right now we're just going through
Oh,
the
we're good under
basics.
pressure, man.
What's the that's cool. What's the currently this is because you don't click. Clicking either of those two links will not call the custom handler click. This is not a good API generally, but it's not sure what you could do with the handler. I get the point of on click and why you need to use that. That's why we've used Next Router API. Okay. Okay. But I think what's missing is that I'm not trying to navigate function read more, return, click, span, on click, router dot push. Not trying to do that. How to call a function on click React. Okay, here's some examples. Super props.
Dude, we're on the same page. We were searching at the same time.
Oh, literally. Say hello.
Genius.
I think, but this is class. This isn't using the new React hooks way, which I don't know if that matters. Functional component. Maybe this is better. Okay, function say hello, alert hello, and then there's the generic button. Look, we were looking around how to make buttons. We just found out it's called button. Anybody on the React team down there is just like, you guys, you gotta know this stuff, man.
Oh, come on. That's how we learn.
Okay, so export default app return is this. So we're gonna say button click me like this. And we're gonna just dump all this for now. Button like that. And then we'll put a good old school function like that. Something I can understand. And we don't need the linked stuff no more. And then we click me, I guess it's gonna say on click say hello, which is the function up there. Super easy. I'm feeling like we pulled it off, Mario.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Can we do it?
Click me, it's a button. You ready for console log? Oh, I had to do the alert just to teach me an old school lesson. So we got it. So now we've been able to set up a button, big whoop-de-doo, which was our goal to make the UI. We're going to be able to call, this is basically an arrow function, and the function is, in this case is, oops, no, this is not. This is traditional, like a functional function. Say hello. So what time we got? We got about 3 minutes. I'm going to flash up on the screen what we're looking to migrate. And that was in our public directory. And our test.html has a bunch of JavaScript in it. And we got a bunch of functions in the bottom. One of them was called load animal data, write traits. Here's some on change events that mess around with the components, and I mean the list box and so on. Console log moist. Who did that? I didn't do that, man.
Got you.
Function create animals. So now we know we can bring in the UI objects. When we get together next time, the jokes are going to be 10 times better. Because guys,
Guys.
smash that like button. Smash that like button. Guys. I'm not going to believe what I saw. So yeah, cognizant of your 2 p.m. gotta go. We know we can click. We're gonna bring the functions over, and then we'll pick it up from where we left off. But we've done a lot, man. We've migrated to React. We now are building the browser.js page, and we're gonna figure out how to migrate our legacy functions into our component, and then it's gonna start getting data the React way using fetch. So
and we got hot reloading working, so I don't
oh
have
yeah,
to star anymore.
that's awesome. We got Webpack. So I guess it's traditional for me to say the joke that was my most smashing joke yesterday. On a scale of 5 out of 5, Mario, what do you think, man, about today's demo?
What do I think? I think it's great.
Come on, man. I didn't mean to make it weird.
Five.
Did I make it weird? Let's try 5 out of 5.
Dude.
I had a wonderful time.
I learned something. I'm happy. I got that running. And are you going to push that to the? Are you going to commit?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and do that. And I would not want to close out our Dealy Bob without the applause audio for the audience out there and the audience in here. Okay, so let me go ahead and upload the applause while I do the GitHub push. And we did it, man. We absolutely did this. I think seriously, I'm gonna call you after this and be like, we're freaking awesome. We're learning React. We're migrating stuff, and I will do
Let's
the
do it.
GitHub push while they're cheering us. It's pretty easy stuff. We'll build out the router and we'll do all the other stuff that's for the full system. What can you help me out with my commit, boss? Well, I'm about to do the goodbye audio here. I'm in test Mario. What would be a good commit title?
Uh, simple
Updating.
button implemented.
Simple button to function call. We got to try it the real hard way and then come full circle the super easy way. Commit,
Oh,
push.
what?
So we already did the goodbyes. Now this is the outro. Mario had a great time. I'm gonna give you a 6 out of 5. Okay, better than the 5. I
Wait, am
think
I
that
allowed to go back and edit my like then to like 7?
no, I'm just competitive that way. So
Oh,
this we've already
okay.
stopped streaming. And I'm gonna say thanks again, man. I'm gonna be cutting my teeth. If you want to go live during the week, I know you're a busy guy. We can pick this up. Otherwise, I'll look forward to next Saturday or Sunday that we iterate this thing,
Yeah,
and it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna close out the.
yeah.
We learned so much today, dude. Screen sharing. Whew, it was a big one.
Uh, mob programming, that was always great.
Yeah, we're engineered
Definitely
up.
learned better like that. I'm gonna hit up my fetch origin in the latest GitHub.
Yes,
And
sir.
hang
Oh,
on just now.
okay, Mario. I'll see you on all that stuff, dude. I'll see you on Discord, and thanks a lot for a good time, man.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
down.
All right. Talk to you later. Peace.
Later, Mike.